CA Pate, back at you with another video. And in today's video, I am going to go over this instrument cluster. We're going to go over this instrument cluster and we're going to talk about the functions of it. I haven't done a video on this really before, so I'll go through it. As we see on the instrument cluster for the Ryker, obviously you see my mileage on it, 12,000, right? 12,636 miles. And you see MI miles over here. Miles per hour is telling me how fast I'm going. Over here is where my park, forward, and reverse is. Over here is where my coolant is. It's telling me if I'm about to run hot or if I'm okay. Down here is my RPMs. If the bike started, it's telling me where my RPMs are. Over here it tells me my fuel, if I'm full or empty. If you see all those black notches, it means I'm full. If you don't see that lit up and you start to see it like fall, then that means that the bike's going empty. So over here on this button, trip A, I can get into my different mileage or I can get into time, right? So I like to have the correct time on there. I don't like stopping and having to see what time it is and so on and so forth. Before we go any further, please hit that subscribe button for me real quick. Hit that subscribe button to become a part of this wonderful community. So this button only, over here looks like they should be buttons too, right? These are absolutely nothing. They do nothing. They aren't buttons. These are the only two buttons that you have to worry about over here on this side. This top one, again, just controls your time, tells you what time it is, or you can hit it and it can get into your miles or your trip A or your trip B if you're trying to keep, timing on or trying to know like how many miles you went in trip A or how many miles you went in trip B. The bottom button is the more important button. So like if I hold this button, that's how I go to sports mode. Right now I'm not in any mode. The bike's just in no mode. If I hold this button right here for a second, it goes into sport mode. If I hold this button again, it goes into eco mode. If I hold the button again, it goes into eco off. So the one that I drive in the most, if I want to, save on some gas, I'll go in eco mode. If I want to have a little fun with the bike, I go in sports mode. If I want to really race, sports mode for whatever reason makes the back of my bike slide a little bit when I come out of, hit the throttle if I'm racing somebody. So a lot of times I'll just go in this mode right here where it's not an eco and it's not a sport mode. It doesn't make my bike back tire spin as much. If I want that back tire to spin and the bike to get a little squirrely, I go into sports mode. If I hold this button again, if I tap this button, it goes into my different settings. If I want to know my fuel settings, my range is I'm 103 miles until this bike is empty. If I want to go into settings, so some of the stuff in settings is the units, so I can go in kilometers or miles per hour, the reset stat, the brightness, so I can make this cluster go bright or I can make it go low. I can change the clock, I can change the time on my clock, and then it just has exit. Then you got the RPMs. I can do RPMs if I want to. So you see I just changed it, and instead of showing me, the miles on the bike, it's gonna show me the RPM. So if I start the bike, you see automatically how the RPMs jump up, but it's gonna settle around 800, 850. And then if I hit the throttle, the RPMs go up, right? But if I didn't want that, right, and I wanted it to show how many miles till empty, I would just hit this button again and just keep tapping it, right? Oh, I hit sports mode because I held it too long. So I would hit this button. So there it is, range. Did it again, hold on. Go mode, where's the range? Okay, where did range go? Give me a second. It's still in RPMs. I want to change it to range. So fuel stat, so it's this one. Why does that keep doing that? Okay. Try this one more time. I know that's the button. I'm holding it too long. So if you hold the button, the button's either going to take you into one of the settings, or the button is going to take you into sports mode, eco mode. It's going to take you into one of them. I'm trying to get it. Okay, I gotta remember this in a second. So I'm trying to get it to here. Come on. Stop. We gotta wait for it to clear one more time. All right. Try this again. I held it too long again. This thing is so finicky when I try to get back to my regular stat of range. There it is. So there's range. So as you saw, I got to just tap it over instead of holding it. So it's back in settings. It'll go off in a minute. When the settings go off, we'll see the range. It'll say miles. So see that? It's back to the miles until it's empty. So a little tricky. I'm a little heavy-handed with it. So if I hold it too long, like you see, if I hold it, it's gonna go into rally mode or the eco mode. But if I don't hold it and I just let it, if I wanted to get back to RPM, you know, you're just tapping it. So like I tapped it and I did that. Now you see how it's back in RPM? It's the same thing when I want to go back to just the range and want to know. Right now it's in RPM. If I wanted that to turn to how many miles until empty, because that's more accurate than this actual gauge over here, I have to go, there's range. And you see it change back to 102 miles for the range. So just a little bit on the instrument cluster. If you guys got any other questions on it, real simple and easy. I definitely like the Spider instrument cluster better than I like this instrument cluster. It looks a little dated, but the bike is still cool. They went with basic. Basic is, nothing's ever wrong with basic. But if you got any other questions, get in the comment section. Let me know anything that I forgot, anything that works differently on yours. I know some people, when they first get their bike, they don't even know anything about eco mode. Eco mode, you do have an eco mode on your bike. Usually you have a sport mode, and then if you have a rally, you have a rally mode. So get in the comment section right now. Let me know what you thought about what I went through. So normally when I got mine and I'm riding, my settings are normally, I have the time, because I don't want to look at my phone. I want to see what time it is. I normally have the bike in eco mode, and I normally have this thing on instead of the RPMs. I normally have it where it's showing me how many miles to empty. So that's how I set mine up. Only one time I had a hose that went on my radiator. So that was the only time that this went all the way up here, letting me know that the bike was overheating and something was wrong. My gas, I normally like to go by this. So when this shows nothing is usually when I go get gas. So like this will keep showing mileage, but when you're getting down to like maybe 20 miles to go, 15 miles to go, this won't show anything. It'll show like 0. So that is definitely the time to get to the gas station. Sometimes this will say 60, and this over here will have 1 notch or no notches. This will completely be gone, but this will still say 40 or 60 miles that I still have to go. So in my opinion, this is more accurate than the actual, this little gas gauge thing. So get in the comment section right now. Let me know what you thought about this. Until next time, my friends, CA Pate out.